And today I want to talk to you a little bit about how I deal with difficult customers. And we all have them. If you haven't had them yet, then good for you. Maybe you're just a really nice person and people are just really nice to you. But every once in a while, you're going to run into those people who are just sticklers for details. But before I get into all that, I just want to thank everybody who supported my channel up to this point, especially you. You're watching right now, so thank you for that. Um, if you want to support me and support the channel, you can just go ahead and use some of the links that I have in different videos, affiliate links. And I get a little bit of a commission anytime that you're buying tools or if you're buying marketing materials or something else. So it's there. Always let me know if you ever have questions as well. So with that said, dealing with difficult customers, I just had a customer today actually where we went back to do a little bit of extra. And this is where communication is key up front. And you learn every day how you could have communicated better. And the difficult customers are the ones who are best at helping you see your weak points. So, first of all, I look at every difficult customer as the best teachers that are out there. Because if you can make the difficult customers happy, you'll make all the customers happy. That's kind of the key for customer service success, in my opinion. Now, um, I can tell you more times than I can even express. I've had people who are very picky. Sometimes I'm even warned in advance, hey, my neighbor wants to get their windows clean, but they're very picky. And so I get that kind of buffer up front. And when you're able to make them happy, everybody who knows them knows how picky they are. They oftentimes know how picky they are. And so they give you a hard time, but then after they give you a hard time, if you're able to satisfy them in the end, the whole neighborhood's going to know about you in the best way possible. And if you get those picky customers to start raving about you to their friends and family and neighbors, you win. And so today I'm hoping I get that same type of return. But I had a customer who we did a house wash for her about a week and a half ago. It was right before my wife had she was scheduled for an induction, and so I knew that I was going to have a tough road after that, and so I squeezed her into the last minute and didn't have a lot of time. I expressed to her, I was like, "We're really busy, but I'm going to try to get you in. We can do this particular Tuesday." Um, a referral code to Jobber. Use the link in my description, and you'll be able to get 20% off. And you're going to be able to get it's in a lot of my videos. So that Jobber link, you'll get 20% off for I think a few months, and you get 2-week free trial. So, but anyways, this customer, I was letting her know, squeezing her in last minute, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure she's happy. So we get there, I let her know, hey, we're gonna wash the house. It would be a good idea if you got the windows cleaned as well. We're gonna do the best that we can as far as giving them a rinse, but there's typically gonna still be a little bit of a haze, and we're doing like a detail on the windows. So I try to upsell her on the windows, but she's like, well, if it's just gonna be a little cloudy, that's fine. I don't care. Just don't worry about the windows. Just we'll take just a house wash, and they had their gutters clean as well. So we go clear the gutters, wash the house. Everything looks good, spick and span when we're finished. Then I get a text message a couple of days later. Hey, would you call me? I want to talk about some stuff with the gutters and the windows. We get over there and I'm like trying to figure out what it is she wants to talk about. I tried to call her a couple of times and couldn't get through to her. Finally, we connect and she says, oh, yeah, I just want to double check or touch over some things with the gutters. She'd wanted some repairs done. She had told, I have Jill's office set up. They answer the phone calls. And she didn't express to me this, but she told them that she wanted some gutter repairs done. I missed the memo and didn't do any repairs to her gutters. Her gutters were in good shape, frankly. And so I didn't do anything to reseal them or double check the seams. So she says, hey, I don't know if you repaired my gutters. I would like to get a couple extra things taken care of and just touch bases. So we finally get there. She points out what she wants done with her gutters and what she had an issue with the windows. She thought there was too much dirt on the windows, on the frame. Mind you, it's not even on the external part of the frame. It's like the interior part of the frame where you can't spray it. You're going to get water in the house if like the seals with pressure are going to cause issues. So I was like, look, we don't usually include that, but I'll go ahead and take care of that. So I climbed up, we got up there, just some damp microfiber rags, and wiped the perimeter of every single window around the house. Try to upsell her on the window cleaning again. She refused. She just wanted the frames to be cleaned before they installed new screens. So whatever. And then with the gutters, got over there, let her know I'd reseal everything, make sure it's in good shape. I get up there on the roof, and only one seam in the whole thing actually could have possibly had a leak in it. And I don't even think it was leaking. But we had had a really heavy downpour, and so water was going everywhere. And they had metal roof where the flashing overhung the side of the gutter. So it's like you're going to have water going over the edge regardless. No matter what I would do, there's nothing I could do. So I made sure I pointed at it. So look, see that flashing that's hanging over the gutter? You're going to have water dripping over that edge. That's the low point, and the water, everything on the flashing above that is going to go down and come over that edge. And so you're always going to have that unless you've got different gutter set up that would overhang underneath that flashing, which they're not going to do, right? Frankly. But it's not an issue, right? It's so little water that is not going to cause an issue to the foundation. I mean, some guys hate gutters, builders hate gutters because they just don't like how the water reacts with them. So it is what it is. We got there, we made sure she was happy, and we went the extra mile. Now, some guys would give her a hard time and say, look, that's not included. If you want us to do that, we're going to charge you a little extra. Now, what I realized was I could have communicated better. I could have let her know that we don't even touch the frames. We'll rinse everything, but there still might be dirt that's on the interior part of the window. So the takeaway here is learn from your customers that give you a hard time, the ones that can be difficult, and point out little nitpicky things that shouldn't even be included with what they're getting. I didn't charge her for repairs. I just charged her for a quick cleanup of the gutters to blow everything out. But she was expecting more. So you have to be really clear with your expectations, and these squeaky wheels that get all the attention, make sure you take that attention and you apply it across the board. That means either rephrase how you're pitching things to people so that when they get sold, they understand what's actually included and what's not. Or go above and beyond next time so that everything that the squeaky wheels would complain about, you're going to be putting oil on those things without them even asking. And so in this case, we're going to be doing both. We're going to make sure that we're more clear when we communicate with them, hey, this isn't included. But now I'm also going to be creating an extra package that includes cleaning the windows, because then they'll see window cleaning is not included with this. I even told her that cleaning wasn't included with it, but it is what it is. You should have just repaired all the gutters for free. That would have been more reasonable. And that's exactly what I did on the end. So thanks for pointing out that, Philip. And so just to be clear, with my gutter cleaning packages, I have three of them. One of them, two of them in particular, that she was interested in. One is just the basic cleaning. The second is actually repairing on top of the cleaning. And the problem was that she didn't tell me specifically that she wanted the repairs. And really, honestly, no repairs were needed at all. But I did go back. We made sure to make everything smoothly, go over smoothly with her. So we went back and we repaired the gutters, or like put extra sealant on the corners, and I explained how the gutters work and where she'll still have issues. So I took care of that. I didn't use Flex Seal, but I used another high-end brand that works similar to Flex Seal, and I was able to reseal every seam, even the ones that didn't need it. And the one seam that seemed like it might be suspicious, I went ahead and pulled out everything that was there, everything that might have been allowing some type of water go through. I pulled everything out, cleaned it up, and then applied new sealant. So we took care of her. We made sure she was happy, and by the end of it, she was thrilled. We did everything short of actually washing her windows, like cleaning them. We got microfiber rags and cleaned all the frames and made sure there was nothing on there. I offered again, we could give her a really good deal for cleaning her exterior windows, but she just didn't want to be bothered with that. So it is what it is. And so sometimes you're going to have these difficult customers. They just come, and they're the best teachers you can get. You learn so much from dealing with these ones. Now, I also do pressure washing for a pool company. They install new pools, and they're highly rated. So this is a completely different story, but important lessons here. They always go above and beyond for their customers. That's why they actually hire me. They'll go install the pool, and they'll try to keep things as tidy as they can. They'll tape up so that they don't overspray or anything when they're putting the plaster on the pool deck. But every once in a while, something gets loose. There's a little paint splatter, or there's something that needs to be cleaned up. And so we go out there and we basically do a razor thin manicure of their whole back property, everything around where the pool was, and sometimes what's in front too. If they get dirt or tire marks on the driveway, we clean that off as well. And it's always cleaner when we finish than when the pool company began the work. And I even see before and afters of before they start the project. So we go above and beyond just to make sure everything's tidied up. Now, this one customer in particular, husband is a lawyer, married to a trophy wife of some sort, or at least she used to be a trophy wife. She seems that way, anyways. And so, but they're very particular about things. And the lawyer is kind of shrewd too. He's the kind of guy who tries to take advantage of companies. And I don't say that lightly. So they go there, they install a new pool, and everything looks nice. But then all of a sudden, the lawyer decides he's going to put up a stink about his French drains because his old drains had already been broken down. They were already kind of junky. But now all of a sudden he decided that he was going to try to blame the pool company for the bad French drains. Now, the French drains that had been there were over 10 years old. They had been completely corroded by just the environment, and roots had kind of grown through them. And it was clearly damaged goods before the pool company ever got there. But the pool company realized they could have said something or been a little bit more clear and shown pictures. So they could have done a little bit better with communicating, potentially. Now, meanwhile, the manager of the company is not always there seeing everything that gets done. So somebody goes ahead and they basically put pavers over top of the ground and buried even deeper the broken pipes that were there. All of a sudden, because of the way they had done everything, it was more visible, the issues that had already been persisting. And so the lawyer guy, the homeowner, is saying, hey, you need to fix my underground plumbing or else I'm going to sue. And I'm not going to pay you until the project is done, including this extra thing. So they go the extra mile. They're like, okay, fine, we'll pull up the pavers, we'll dig everything up, we'll do it again. Now the neighbor is starting to complain because his fence had been resealed and he was blaming them on his fence having like a little bit of dirt on the bottom. Now I was the one who had to go and clean it up, and I see that the fence panels had been pretty old already and they stained over bad wood. Probably what happened was a guy went over there with high pressure and blasted the wood, and now the wood was so rotted on the bottom that there was nothing they could have done to prevent this, but there was more runoff water after they had built everything. And because of that, the wood that was there was just kind of acting like a straw, sucking up everything that was on the ground. And so there was like a muddy clay looking soil on the bottom, and it just kind of sucked it up. There was pooling, the water was pooling underneath the fence line, and it was causing issues. And so again, this company goes above and beyond. They say, okay, look, we'll go ahead and take care of it. They try to get me to just to soft wash it and see if that would work, but that just wasn't good enough. And so they were going to have somebody else go out there and restain the wood. The same customer, we had gotten there, and I had noticed there was this round mark on the corner of the patio. And I couldn't tell what the round mark was from. I went to try to clean it off, and it wasn't washable. It was actually etched into the pavers that they had. So I go and I get a little bit of muriatic acid, and sure enough, when I used the muriatic acid to etch the surface, it matched the exact same color as that little round mark that had been there. Now I try to kind of buff it out and feather out the splatter, but it just, even what I didn't look great. So I let the people know, hey, there's this round spot. I try to make it look a little better. There's nothing I can do. So either you got to try to stain over it or just replace those bricks. You could just flip them over potentially, and that'll be better. But they had to do extra, they'd had the gutter issue or the French drain issue. They had to pull that up anyway. So they said they'd take care of it at the same time. So it wasn't like much extra work for them. Now, they do the work, they fix it all up. They have me go out to clean up one more time. The customer had been irate that there was some type of a chemical splatter on the corner of the patio before. They put them through so much agita, so much strain to try to make sure that corner would be taken care of as well. I had communicated with the with the pool company what was going on, and I couldn't figure out what it was. They said none of their people had used any chemicals. They don't know what happened, but nonetheless, we're going to take care of it because we always go the extra mile for our customers. I get back there and go to clean everything up, and lo and behold, there is the exact same size round spot, but now I see what caused it. they had a plant set on top of that round spot. And my guess is there's something, either it's a fertilizer or something that's on the pot that actually was staining the concrete behind it, or the things beneath it. And so now I was able to reach out to the pool company and say, look, that round spot that I couldn't figure out what caused it, now I know there was plants that were on that corner, and something from that container must have left the stain or the etching. So they were obviously not excited that it was the customer's fault. They knew it wasn't probably their fault, but just sometimes you can never know. Why do I tell you about this hard time? It never really got resolved. I mean, the customer eventually did pay what they needed to pay, but that pool company had to spend thousands of dollars extra on extra cleaning, extra construction work that wasn't really even their fault. But they understand that their reputation, their name is more valuable than any little thing that that customer might ask for. And this year they actually got voted for the best pool construction company in the region, for multiple regions, because they always go above and beyond the extra mile. And the people who know their neighbors are cranky, they remember that. And then the easy customers follow. And I get this all the time. Oh, you used so and so, my brother or my cousin or my sister or my aunt, or they name the person, my neighbor. And I know that they're picky, and so if you made them happy, I'm easy. I'm not nearly as picky as they are. So don't even worry about making me happy. You just do your thing. We're not going to make a fuss about anything. You just do your job, and we're going to be happy regardless. They let you know ahead of time. And then they're usually good tippers as well, because they just are thankful that if you can please them, you can please anybody. So you're going to please them as well. So make sure you use those difficult customers as a training opportunity, especially if you have guys who are working for you. There's a lot of times where customers are just gracious, they're kind, they're considerate, they don't want to give a hard time to you. Like I just had a customer reach out to me. She said, hey, my windows, you just cleaned them and we just had a storm roll through. I would like you to come back and touch it up because I have a rain guarantee. Turned out that she called right in the middle of a storm and the windows were wet. I reached out to her again. I had told her that we would come out, and I just went to confirm we're going to be coming by. And thankfully, she's not a difficult customer. And she texted me this morning. We were going to go this afternoon to touch it up. And she said, hey, on second thought, don't come out here. The windows are fine. I double checked them, and there's nothing wrong with them. I insisted. I said, no, look, we're happy to come back. We'll take a look at everything and make sure to touch everything up. It'll only take us a couple minutes. It's all good. And she's like, no, really, you don't have to come. I appreciate it. I'm going to give you a 5-star review. Just the fact that you were willing to come out here. But really, I had only looked at it while it was raining. When I went to check after the rain, everything was clean, and you don't have to worry about a thing. It looks just as good as if you had just cleaned it. So everything was resolved, no problems, right? So when you do the extra thing like that, people will vocalize that. That sticks out more than anything else, because they've dealt with people who will go toe to toe with them. They know that they're a stooge, or that they're a hard person, a hard case to deal with. And when somebody comes out and instead of fighting fire with fire, they come and they throw some water on the fire. You heap. There's a verse in Hebrews that talks about heaping coals of fire on your adversary because you're treating them with kindness and with hospitality. So when you do the right thing, even when they're not, you go the extra level. You just surpass their expectation with kindness and with high level customer service. They're blown away from that, and they remember that. And even if they don't vocalize it to you, they'll talk about you in such a way where everybody else knows, hey, that person, they don't give compliments lightly. Oh, and I'm seeing right now, I just received a 5-star review from that other customer. So it works, right? That's how you build your reputation, not just on Google with 5-star reviews. While that's important, and they'll do that, but with their friends and with the community. the it gets to the point where they see all your 5-star reviews, they read the reports that's in them, people raving about you, and then they're looking for the bad ones. And they're like, where are the bad ones? They have a hard time finding them. I've gotten a couple of 3 or 4-star ones where people will look at it. Or no, I've never gotten a 3. I've gotten a couple of 4-star ones where it's just like 4 stars. They showed up on time. They did a great job. They did everything that they said they would do. Some people just won't get 5 stars, but that's one of the first things that people see, because that's like my lowest review. On Yelp, I have one bad review, and that customer, I had done pressure washing, and some of the plants, some of the vegetation died. I had tried to warn her in advance, but she misunderstood me and assumed that because I was trying to let her know it doesn't often happen, the plants usually don't die. She took that as that her plants would definitely be fine. Now her plants died, and I paid for her guy to go and replant everything. It was like right before the spring hit, and we had a frost the night after I washed her front patio, kind of like little walls, retaining walls. And some of the bleach got into the plants. I tried to rinse everything before and after. And so a combination of the bleach plus all the plants getting shocked that night with the low freeze, they just couldn't survive. So I was like, look, I could try to replace the plants for you, but I don't think you'd be happy. I'll go ahead and pay for your landscaper who installed everything. I'll let you have him do it. I'll just give me the bill and I'll pay for it. So I did that. I went above and beyond. I tried to go the extra measure for her. And then she asked if I would clean her windows. So I did some extra window cleaning for free for her just to smooth things over because I felt guilty. And still, she goes and on Yelp, this is my one bad review. She gives me a 1-star review and a long rant complaining. So I responded as graciously as I could. And one of the best hacks is to use something like ChatGPT. ChatGPT right now is probably the best as far as words. Copy and paste the bad review and then say, look, I'm trying to have a gracious response that helps to inspire other people who are reading it to actually want to do business with me. So I explained the situation. This is what happened. This is what I did. This is how I try to pay for it and make it as good as new. And so ChatGPT will create a review, and then you just want to make sure you make it your own so that people don't get suspicious. If there's like dashes or weird punctuation in it, people will say, oh, they had ChatGPT do it. I don't trust it. So make sure it is original and authentic to you. And then this is what people do when they see the reviews online. They look for the bad ones first, and they expect that there's going to be cranky people out there and that they're going to say negative things. So you go look for the bad reviews and see what the response is. What's the complaint and what's the response? And when it's obvious that the person is just picky and that nobody can make them happy, well, okay, I don't even care what the response is. But then if they see that maybe it was a general, like, legitimate concern or something that they might be concerned about, maybe they're a picky customer, but then they see your response, that you handled it and that you were willing to either reimburse them or refund them or cover the damages. Whatever the problem was, you're willing to make it right. Even if the person's not cooperating, they'll see your heart, they'll see your sentiment, and that's going to register with them, and they're going to say, okay, I can trust them. I'll do business with them. And they're going to compare it to other ones, and that's where you could be the most expensive service provider out there, but because of your customer service and just your response online and in person, you're going to build such a reputation that people don't care how much cheaper the other guy is, because they realize you've built in the margin because you understand the headaches that come with the work that you do and you're prepared to deal with it. The guys who charge half price, they're just going to, wash and run, right? Spray the water on the house and go away. And so when you can communicate and go over the top like that, those difficult customers can become the best customers. They lead to more referrals than almost anybody else, at least outside of the ones who are just naturally talkative. But typically, the complaining ones, they're very vocal. They're the type of personality where they're not ashamed to say something. And you never know with those good ones, the nice customers. There's things that, especially if you have employees, there's things where they're dropping the ball, places where they missed a corner or they just kind of didn't go the extra mile somewhere. Maybe they're not even measuring up to your own standards, but you just don't know because the people are gracious and don't say anything. They figure, oh, it's nothing big, it's nothing major, it's small. The rest of the windows are good. I'm not going to say anything. They don't want to bother you, right? And that's not necessarily good for your brand in the long term. So when you run across the ones who are going to be honest with you and maybe even negative with you, they're going to show the weak points in your whole system, and it's going to show you how you can improve your systems so that those little ones don't skip through the cracks. And then everybody you do business with in the future is going to be thrilled with the level that you're doing. And then you can become the most premium price service provider in your region, and people will pay it because they see the value in the way that you react and respond. So um, that's, in a nutshell, I guess, almost a half hour later, that's how I deal with customers that are difficult. Now, I did have a customer who went to be so difficult that I fired them. And sometimes these people are out there. No matter what we did, she was still cranky. And she just basically wanted everything for free. So we went above and beyond the extra mile, made sure she would be satisfied finally. Walk around with her, make sure, is there anything else that you see that we're missing? Because we're only human. And that's something I say at the beginning. Just remember, we're only human. We make mistakes. We do our best, but sometimes something slips through the cracks. So please just let us know and we'll come back and touch it up. No extra charge. We want to make sure that you're happy. So I say that to her, we come back, and then we walk around and she's looking around with the magnifying glass, right, to try to find anything that she can, even if it's not related to the windows. Well, there's a piece of dirt over there on the ground. Maybe your guy might have tracked that across. We'll take care of that. We made sure she was happy. Once she's finally happy, we don't have to worry about any negativity. I go onto the account where she's able, onto Responsive, where she could actually book appointments, and I make sure I kind of blacklisted her, right? I flag her email, her address, so that if she ever tries to book an appointment again, she can't get through. There's like an invisible ceiling there or an invisible wall where she can't get a quote. It'll just say, oops, sorry, we're going to have to reach out to you. And then in my other CRM in Jobber, I make sure I notate, I create a note that she can't see, only we can see. And I flag her as a difficult customer. And then I archive her on top of that. So any marketing that we do in the future, she's not going to be able to see it. And any type of opportunity that she might try to reach out with us again, she's marked. We know that she's difficult. And so there's two ways about doing it. You could say we'll never do business with her again. We're just going to go ahead and let her know we're not doing anything for you. Some people will say, oh, well, we just don't service your area anymore. I don't like being necessarily like that. I like to be truthful, say, look, we're just not the right fit for you. We're not going to be able to make you happy. And sometimes they'll argue with you over that. I've had people argue about that, and still they're just, well, they get even more angry. The other thing you can do is, oh, I'm sorry, we've had to raise our rates, so if we're going to have to come in, it's the inconvenience fee, right? The difficult customer fee. You basically double their price, so that way any audit that they give you, it's going to be worth it. But the bigger you get, the less likely you want to deal with those ones, because they're going to give your customers, they're going to give your employees a hard time. And this is where I've had to grow a lot. In the past, I'd be willing to deal with these customers and just charge a little bit extra next time. But then you get employees who are trying to do a good job. They're trying their best to make sure this customer's happy. Their livelihood depends on it too. Their reputation with you is on the line. And a lot of times they can make an honest mistake and they're trying to fix it. But then the customer goes and they chew them out. And that's what made it, when I draw the line, is when they give my employees a hard time. And this customer gave my employee a very hard time. And she was berating him, telling him he was doing a bad job. And so I'm like, okay, that's over. We went the extra mile to trying to make her happy. We went back, we did one thing after another, but because she talked to my employees like that, we're never doing work with her again. So that's why I flagged them, banned them. We're never doing work. I don't care how much she could offer me 4 times the price. We're not doing business with somebody who's a jerk. And that's where I draw the line. If they're going to be rude or treat your workers or even you like a slave, or like you're not worthy of it, like they're above you, when they try to pull out like a class system with you, that's when we draw the line. We've worked with so many very successful people, even billionaires, and they're the nicest guys oftentimes. I mean, usually they're too busy and they're gone. They just have somebody else as the gatekeeper who takes care of everything. So you don't even talk to them or meet them most of the time. But when you do, they're kind. They understand the value of humans and of people. And they're the ones who are going to be the least picky of all. And so when people get on the high horse thinking that they're better than everybody else, and they begin to actually take that to the point where they'll speak down to your employees, that's when we say, no, that's not okay. I don't care how successful you are or how much money you have. We don't need your money. You've got to find somebody else, because we're not dealing with you. And I won't even refer them to somebody, because I'm not going to do that to my colleagues. And if you're a window cleaner in the DFW area, I won't send you those terrible customers. I'll refer somebody who I don't have time for, or who I just have too much going on. Whatever other thing comes up, if I'm just not a right fit for them for whatever reason, maybe they're too far away. But if somebody's like that, we put a red flag up and we don't send them to anybody. So I hope that helps you guys understand the psychology of how I deal with them. we use it as a learning opportunity, identify our weak points in our systems, and then if it's really just a bad person, we'll flag them, we'll try to make them happy, but then we'll make sure we never do anything for them again as long as we can help it. So, all right, let's see if you got any other questions here. Love your videos. I just had to do this, lady. Yeah, oh, I just had it. I know we all have to deal with these difficult customers. It comes up. Nothing can make them happy, and we just gotta learn. You identify them when they come. You just hope for the best, and you do your best. And when nothing makes them happy, there's just nothing you can do. Um, but anyways, if anybody's got any other questions right now while I'm live, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I said it at the beginning of the video, but one of the ways that I'm able to keep coming back to YouTube and keep doing videos, one of the things is I just like helping you guys. So if you ever have a question or something that you're struggling with or dealing with, um, there's now like a comment section, I think, like a community tab where you can actually post. It's like almost like Facebook's wall, like how they used to have the wall on Facebook where somebody could post on there. I think it's the same way where on my YouTube page, if you go to my page, you can actually comment there. Otherwise, just comment on this video or any other video anytime you have a question, and I try to answer there in the comments. You can always email me. My email is ben@blueladder.com, but remember it's spelled BLULADDER, Blue Ladder, no E here. Ben, BEN at blueladder.com, and you can email me questions as well. What I'll do, I don't always have time to respond right away, but when I can, I will. And then I like to create videos off some of the more common questions that I get. And then if I've already answered it, I might just email you a link to a video that I've already answered the question in. And so anytime I can do that, I like to help you guys. And those things help me keep having ideas of what else I could talk about. Because sometimes I got to be careful about just ranting on or talking about the same things over and over. I try to keep it as different from video to video as I can. These live streams are kind of fun because I can just kind of, shoot the breeze with you guys. The other thing though is a lot of people have been using my affiliate links, and so I just want to say thank you guys for that. I'm able to cover the car payment for my family's vehicle that we just got. I have 7 kids now, so we had to get into a Ford Transit, a larger. It's actually 15 passenger, but we're taking a seat out to make it 12 passenger. And so the only reason I was able to get that and splurge and get a nice bigger vehicle for my family was because the combination of I get a little bit of AdSense money. It's like between $300 and $400, less than 400 every month from YouTube AdSense, and that can go down. So that's not as dependable. But then I get also around $500 a month in affiliate fees from Window Cleaning Resource. So anytime you need window cleaning products, when you guys use one of the links in one of my videos or just the one that's in my profile, it's windowcleaner.com/BM, my initials. That also gives me a little boost. I get 10% of everything that they do, and they don't bump the price up or anything. You get any type of discount, whatever your price is, I just get a commission off of it. And so it's pretty great. I've gotten a good amount of money flowing through that as well as consistently around $500 a month. And then with Jobber, everybody who's signed up for Jobber, I appreciate you guys as well. I get a one-time fee usually, and then they're able to see the progress. And so Jobber actually pays me a monthly fee just to post one long form video and one short form video, and then I get anytime somebody signs up, I get a little bit of a bonus, anywhere from 75 to a couple $100. So it doesn't hurt at all. I appreciate when you guys do use my links, and that keeps my channel going. So I appreciate you guys. I'll keep posting. I'm in this for the long term, especially if you guys have leadership stuff or you're looking at recruiting people or trying to figure out how you're going to grow your business. Questions around that kind of thing, business development and just expansion into other markets, other things like that. Marketing is obviously fun. I like to talk about those things. So anytime you have questions about that stuff, that just kind of gets me going. And I love to like come up with new ideas for videos that I can post about. So anyways, if nobody else has any other questions, it's been about a half hour, and I think I really addressed how I deal with difficult customers. So I'll leave this video up for another couple of days, at least 2 days, or until I post another one. And then I'll make it so it's private for members. So I have, thanks to you guys, I have about almost a dozen channel members. And so if you don't know about YouTube's membership thing yet, it's like a basic fee, like something like $5 a month, basically coffee money. And you get early access to some videos, and then certain content I'm putting on there mostly like live streams and custom curated stuff that I'll eventually put on there for the members who are on there. So when I get up to, I'll be bumping up the price for that. Basically, there's an early bird right now, $5 a month for anybody who's in the membership thing right now. Your price is safe. You don't have to worry about it as long as you stay a member. I'm not going to raise the price for that. But what I will be doing is I'll be ending that tier, and then the price will go up to $10 a month for anybody else after that. So yeah, get in on it if you want to support the channel with the membership thing. Otherwise, yeah, I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy your week. Don't get too strung out with the heat out there. Make sure you're staying hydrated. I use Jobber sent me this little canister a while back, so I use this with my electrolytes. I get 1 or 2 packets of electrolytes every day just to make sure that I'm hydrated out here in the Texas heat. So anyways, with all that said, see you guys in the next video. You take care.